Where do we stand today in terms of identifying those individuals and deporting them out of the country?
Great question, because I read a media story this morning. We're deporting less people than Joe Biden. Yeah, because Joe Biden had millions of people coming across the border every year, and a lot of border patrols are removing a lot of them. So you can't compare the administration. It isn't how many removed. It's number one, how many did you release into the country illegally? And Biden administration is in the millions. And the more important question is, how many interior arrests, people in the interior of the country, did you arrest? If you look at those numbers, we're about 3 times higher than Joe Biden was during the same time period. We got about 36,000 arrests so far, vast majority of criminals, because President Trump has promised American people on this mass deportation operation, the worst first, the criminals first, because they're the biggest danger to our communities. National security threats, public safety threats, that's what we're concentrating on. But that aperture will open to the 1.4 million that had due process at great taxpayer expense, were order removed, but instead of leaving, they became a fugitive. That aperture will open up. So you can see the arrests increased in the very near future. But the problem is sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are making us less efficient. Well, rather than one agent arresting one bad guy in the jail, now we got to send a whole team into the neighborhood for officer safety reasons to find somebody that don't want to be found. So that's slowing us up. But what we'll do, we'll double the man force of sanctuary cities. We'll double the teams. We're not going to be stopped. We'll overcome all the roadblocks we're putting in, but we're going to get it done.
But you're talking about in Guantanamo Bay, for example, there's tens of thousands of available space, but there are millions of immigrants in this country.
The number one issue was illegal immigration, removing criminal aliens. So Congress needs to come and give us the funding to do this. We need to buy more beds. We need to have more out-of-country planes. We need more contracts to have more contract people come in and do the work that doesn't require law enforcement, that law enforcement is currently doing. So you're exactly right. Congress needs to come through. I'm hoping they sign a bill today or hopefully tonight. We need a bill right now, but we need reconciliation. We need money to be successful, because if more money we have, the more successful we're going to be.
I got to admit, Mr. Holman, that should be the easiest part of your job. I mean, the president has all 3 branches of government in his favor. I mean, the GOP has that, the White House, the Senate, the House. I mean, it shouldn't be difficult at this particular moment in time for them to give you what you want, since they assigned you to do this job. But I want to transition real quick to undocumented workers. So a lot of people argue, they've had a massive economic benefit. They've been a massive economic benefit to this country. They pay taxes, are important to the workforce, are less violent than some naturalized citizens. That's the things that you keep hearing people say.
Look, if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. It's not okay to be here illegally. But as you know, we're prioritizing worst of the worst fugitives. And here's the issue. I'll use one example, and this is a true example. I had a new roof put on my house 2 years ago. I had to call 6 companies before I got a company that guaranteed me a legal workforce. And one person that showed up was a father and son. Father and son used to have 20 United States citizen employees. But him and his son came by and said, can I just repair the roof? Do we need to replace the roof? Because him and his son can't replace the whole roof. Here's a story he told me. He had to fire 20 U.S. citizen employees because he was competing against all these companies that had illegal aliens, paying them, $7 an hour to get on the roof. Well, he was paying U.S. citizens $20 to get on the roof. People need to understand that no one hires an illegal alien on the goodness of their hearts. The hireman can pay them less, work them further, work them harder, and undercut their competition as U.S. citizen employees. Now, I'll say this: if we need that type of staff to come to this country and work, then it's up to Congress to make the changes. But we can't condone hiring illegal aliens, because that's what drives everything else. When you overwhelm the border patrol with what people call innocent immigration, just people coming here for a better life, people coming for a job, but what they need to understand, there's an ugly underbelly of that, because when you overwhelm the border patrol, you type border patrol up with what they call innocent immigration, it overwhelms the border patrol, which means there's less agents on the border to arrest people smuggling fentanyl. There's less people, agents on the border to stop the sex trafficking. What happened to Joe Biden? Joe Biden caused such a huge surge in illegal immigration. 70% of agents were pulled off the line to deal with this humanitarian crisis and deal with this so-called innocent illegal immigration. And when they did that, what happened, Steve? 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. We got a record number of people on terrorist watch lists across the border. So we got to do this legally. There are millions of people standing in line right now, taking their tests, paying their fees, doing the background investigation, come to the country the right way. They're sitting in the back seat because CIS is overwhelmed with fraudulent asylum claims. So I get it. If we need a workforce, need more workforce in the country, then create a legal program. They can come with a visa, so they don't have to pay a criminal cartel. They don't have to give their whole life savings to put themselves at risk for the criminal cartel and swim across the river and drown. So Congress needs to do some work, but we can't condone illegal immigration. We can't condone, go ahead and enter the country legally, and we're not going to be looking for it.